a bit quicker just because of how much carnage is happening.
Yeah, I do kind of agree with that, but I also think LeBlanc does farm very fast with this build, so she's still comfortable in games that are relatively slow. I think the bigger issue is that so many times in the PCS, teams just don't really play around the LeBlanc. They don't let her poke first. Jiaotu, he's got the heavy laning runes there with the Airy Scorch, and I think it's pretty good. Like, I think if you're playing up against the Shiv LeBlanc, you need to kind of delay it getting to that Shiv as much as possible. If you take something to try and match the scaling, I think ultimately you will just be outscaled. So eyes will be a lot on this matchup here. See what ends up happening.
Yeah, if Jiaotu is able to get push in this lane, especially up until the stage of that Shiv getting completed, certainly can walk around the map with WSL and look for things elsewhere. I mean, there's not a whole lot of setup really around the map, but being that you are Lissandra, you can find those things for yourself. If you're able to find a nice claw, Frozen Passage, I believe it is, into, you know, the setup, Frozen Tomb. I mean, any of Lissandra's abilities, really.
Are they all called Frozen something?
I don't think so. I don't know the Q name.
Frozen
the
Claw? No shot, right?
Frozen Splinters.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. Gemini, though, starting blue buff. Not really your traditional starting route for a Lee Sin, but probably just wants to head towards that bot side, realizing that things can happen there. It does feel like a fairly volatile lane.
It is volatile, and I think if you're Dewish team especially, you really want the game to not be volatile early. I think if you can hit your one item, maybe even 2 item spikes, that's the point where you're in that kind of time where you're really strong, and that LeBlanc isn't super strong yet. I think that's that sweet spot, really, is that 2 items, and lots of trades coming out on the bot side. A lot of damage back onto Shao C, but it was level 2 advantage. And
yeah, the level 1 trade back onto level 2 wasn't even that bad. Now, you do still have sustain, obviously. You've got the red gun alongside fleet footwork, so a little bit of that health will just come back naturally. 3 pots, though, available for Shun.
There is a lot more sustain there. Still feel like, though, Dewish team comp does scale very, very nicely.
Yeah.
Not even like ultra late game, just really feel like at the 2 item mark, maybe they haven't outscaled, but it feels like their comp is a lot easier to play at that point. You know, CFO definitely have to play the fights well. Make sure there's Lee Sin and Renekton are finding flanks. LeBlanc is finding poke before it starts.
Yeah, and I think, all things considered, if CFO overextend, it's very easy here for the side of Dewish team to just cut off one member from the rest of the team. If Chelsea lands a Zenith Blade that he might not want, Brom can put up that wall as well. As you've just got so much CC coming out of Lissandra and Viego that it really can make team fights difficult. And I think, honestly, the best part about Dewish's team comp for me is that really at all stages of the game, you've got a champion or a couple of champions here that do very, very well. I mean, early on in the game, Gwen, quite a strong early game laner. You've then got, obviously, in the mid game, the Viego, the Lissandra, and then late game, Ophelio's Gwen again. It doesn't feel like there's any major weak points in terms of when you have to be giving up things. Now, really nice ward here to spot out where Gemini is. Being level 4 here on that Lee Sin.
They do force him away.
Ooh.
And a little bit of pressure put towards mid. We'll see if Zhaozu just goes for the reset with. Looks like he will. Drops that ward as well to get confirmation on where Jimian will be going.
Be a Grom stolen away, though.
Yeah, he's making himself home in the bot side. Looks like it was traded up, though.
I really don't like this Lissandra skin, by the way.
Which one was it?
We'll see it again, but I honestly don't know. I don't play the champ enough, but it's like a pinky one. Like pinky purple. Pinky red. I don't know what color to call it. You'll see it soon, I'm sure. Now, not a very good first back here for Zhao 2.
It doesn't feel that great. I think buying the tier 1 boots might have been a mistake. Depends how much roaming you can get done, but obviously dodging the skill shots from LeBlanc isn't super important when she's maxing Q early. So it feels like a little bit of wasted gold. Maybe we'll see how the trades end up going. I think it would have liked just more early game power to put on the pressure, but it kind of feels like he's playing to pressure the wave. But it's quite hard, I think, when LeBlanc can just walk at you. WCL, he's wrapping around. He's got the mid prior right now.
We'll spot out Gemini shortly. He's actually not in the bush. Not sure if...
Oh, is he going bot lane?
Yeah, looks like he is. And Shun as well as Chelsea fairly pushed up, but...
Oh, it's a 4-man.
Okay, yeah, Zhao coming down as well. Doesn't have access to that ultimate just yet, and the ward will spot them out. Are they able to find anything, though? Winter's Bite will land here onto Chelsea.
Ooh.
Nice work with the Zenith Blade, but it looks like the CC might just be too much. The Gravitum confirms first blood. It's going to be traded back there by the Ignite, but it's first blood here to Pepero on the Sophelios. The answer back, of course, going on to Chelsea. Good start for Dewish team.
It definitely was not the cleanest, but they got the job done. And I hope we get a replay of it because WSL, he goes for the predict, I believe, on the Leona and was actually pretty close. Yeah, he was pretty close to getting it there. And that ultimately did make a pretty big difference as they couldn't quite kill Chelsea without trading Inhao for it. Still, though, I think you're probably happy as Dewish team. I'm not sure. You did burn a lot of sums for it, but you get a kill on your ADC, so it does feel good. And Chelsea, he has ult.
Okay, Inhao is here. Yeah, it does have ult. Is he going to be able to use it? Frozen Tomb does come out there just in time. Dodges a lot of that damage. And now it's going to be traded back. Frozen Claw, or Frozen Passage, whatever it's called. He's not going to go back to it, though. Yeah, this is the skin. I don't like it.
I don't even know what skin that is. I think it's a chroma, right?
It might be. I definitely haven't seen it until now. Now, I think, honestly, all things considered, bot lane remains fairly even in terms of gold, just because Shun has found himself at a fairly substantial CS goal lead, and JP here being looked at is stunned up, does have that needlework working, and he's finding a lot of damage onto Rest, but it won't be enough. Triumphs coming through afterwards will ensure he does not go down, but really valiant effort there out of JP on the Gwen to almost trade that back.
Was very close, but that is a really big death. He doesn't have the TP to get back to this crashing wave. He also used his Ignite there and didn't find anything with it, and of course Rest.
Gonna get stunned up. Gemini looking! Does go into the tower. Is gonna flash away. It's another death. It goes over to Gemini this time, so a killer piece here for that top jungle. WSL almost had the damage there. If he was level 6, maybe would have been able to find something, but ultimately was not. It is just the kill going over.
Definitely is just bad news, really. For Dewish team in that top jungle.
Importantly, it is the steel caps here for JP, which will make his life a little bit easier, especially knowing that he is against Renekton Lee Sin. Kind of finds double effectiveness in many ways. I think this is a hard game to choose which boots to itemize. Because you do have to go up against the Leona, as well as, obviously, the Xayah, who offers CC. The Renekton offers CC.
Yeah, I assume Gwen at least has a lot of tenacity from the runes.
Yeah, I think she'll have double tenacity. And Pepero...
he's aware.
Yeah.
Well, at least the Herald wasn't picked up.
I really want to see more roams going down bot. I think you've got a little bit of a window here where the static shift hasn't been completed.
Maybe, but ganking a Xayah with both Sums and 6 feels impossible. They could play towards Herald instead.
This fight does feel a little impossible too.
Zhao got prior. I mean, he can be here first. And Renekton ult is close. Okay, so this is nice pickup for Dewish team. Better than nothing anyway.
I almost wouldn't hate to see it just go to your Gwen.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you have good places kind of across the board right now, right? I think you've taken a play in top and bot, maybe? Oh no, just one in bot.
Damn, nice Q.
Gemini was very good on this Lee Sin last split.
Yeah, he was. I think one of the better Lee Sins from last split. Oh, Inhao.
I think should be fine.
Yeah, stand behind Braum. Winter's Bite. In fact, it's being turned around. Zhao finds that Frozen Tomb. And so much damage. WSL finds himself a kill. He's become the LeBlanc. He's trying to look for another one. Gets the reset. Will find himself that as he's now the Lee Sin. Not likely to be able to get out. That's what he actually does. Does he get the reset? He will.
Wait, he wins this.
Oh, Featherstorm coming out. WSL's crazy.
Oh my.
Oh,
he's out.
He dodges out. Oh my God, WSL.
That might be play of the week. That was really, really well played. I hope we get a replay.
Yeah, that was insane. Okay, WSL's winning. He is the best player in the league.
That is the first time I've seen a Viego pop off like that. You know, we have seen the Viegos start to win games, especially Kongre's, but that really feels that is why you're picking Viego, is for fights like that. Let's take a look at it again. And Hal's engaged on too early, and this is kind of the problem with LeBlanc early. You know, very good in isolated 1v1, not so good in these early skirmishes. Honestly, doesn't put out a meaningful amount of damage. CC'd up, and the follow-up comes through. LeBlanc is stolen, and I think everything connected, really. Manages to get all that damage.
1v4.
Yeah, and you thought he was dead to rights here, but manages to get off just a little bit of damage at the end there.
Oh, if he was able to land either of those.
Yeah, and then decides to go out, which I think is a good choice. Even got the flash out of him as well, so really well played there from WSL, and has himself a huge lead off of it.
And if all that wasn't enough, he got the scuttle too. And honestly, him being a jungler is probably his happiest he was getting that scuttle at the end.
Not wrong.
3-1 on the Viego. Where was this Dewish team all along, man?
They're
honestly, so
gold,
far
though.
in this game. Yeah, but I want to say they're looking pretty good. Zhao actually down 20 CS, which is fairly significant. Being that he is the Lysandra, though, again, it's a champion that doesn't require the most amount of gold in the world.
No, I think you're still happy as long as your Lysandra can hit one item at a fairly comfortable time.
But this CS deficit's pretty much around the map, though. And WSL, while a little bit accelerated, does feel like he is still weaker than the Lee Sin in that isolated 1v1. Lee Sin just quite a lot of base damage on a lot of those abilities. Pepero now being looked at, does have ability to use both of those sums, is holding the cleanse for a very long time, is going to be finding a lot of damage in return here. It's going to be another kill for WSL. He's found his fourth. He's now the Leona. There is no flash on the Xayah from the earlier fight, and going to find himself another, and he's now the AD carry.
Crazy.
Gemini, he is going to get stunned up, and again, that's a triple. Zhao is in the area. He does have Frozen Tomb, but Jimmy staying safe. And while maybe CFO were ahead in gold just before, they're not now. WSL, he lands the Q, but he has to transform back. God, I wanted him to see that follow-up. Ran out of time on that Lee Sin, though. And Pepero claiming a lot of gold for himself, as well as WSL. He's 6-1. Teleport coming through, though. This will be Jimmy in. Oh, actually, his rest. Pepero will be going down here. We'll see if JP can trade much back on the top side.
I think Gwen can actually get quite a lot in top.
Yeah, Gwen does a lot of damage to towers.
Well, it feels like another kind of montage coming out of WSL here, but Pepero engaged on, I think, holding the sums for a long time was actually pretty nice.
Yeah.
Gets them really to overcommit, and then so much CC and AoE can come through. WSL, he had the flash after all of this. It forces the cleanse out of Shonen. Nowhere to go, really. Tries to buy a bit of time, and now did a great job hitting that Winter's Bite there at the end. CC'd up again, and I mean, like I said, this is what you're picking Viego for. It's just these constant reset montage moments, and it feels like it often does not happen in competitive games, but we're seeing it here.
Look, I'm going to say it. If Dewish team managed to pick up a win here, it's going to cause some carnage
It is.
in that top six.
It really would.
I mean, it's absolutely nothing for Dewish team. They are not going to make it to playoffs. It's impossible.
If they won all three of their games, they might not be last.
True, they could beat Impunity if Impunity lose all of their games. But I think more importantly, this game is just playing disruption for that top six. And I hope they win. Look at how much gold is on this Viego. It truly is on WSL to win. And I have to say, last split when they did win, it was WSL on scorelines like 10-1 that got it done. Now, Zhao under tower. Looks like he might be able to get out. I mean, this looks like a very difficult dive in any case.
Yeah,
you have
bringing up
three members. Winners. Okay, Frozen Passion comes up. He does actually go to it, flashes away, so he will remain safe. Nice work there to not go down. On the bot side, you are trading a tower for this, so. First blood even. First blood tower. More gold onto this Viego.
It
feels like
gold.
all eggs in the Viego basket.
Really is. On the other side, though, Jimian and Rest have been picking up gold all game long. That CS lead mid is getting even bigger, partially because Zhao is now weak-sided and kind of has to respect, give up some waves. But you almost feel like Lysandra, at least for a while, is still going to be more impactful.
Yeah, especially in those team fights.
I think Jimian's going to make sure to use that prior really well, but Zhao with the TP can just stay in the side lane for a while.
Oh boy, Rift Shield's coming up. This should just be Dewish teams, but if CFO can test it, we might see more montage plays out of WSL.
If Rest doesn't have TP, I wonder, is he going to base and walk to this Herald? It's kind of looking like he will. I think if you're Dewish team, you might just try and waste the time and just send Gwen down bot. Alternatively, JP, he's walking back, so it looks like he's going to walk up and they're just going to have a 5v5, which I think they should win. You've got the problem, you've got the Lysandra.
Yep.
I think if you don't let LeBlanc land the poke, you should win the fight.
Yep, have red, sorry, not red, white, green gun here on Aphelios, which isn't the worst, but it also isn't the best.
Okay, it all comes down to execution, though. This is getting lower and lower.
Harrowed Passage. WSL, what will he find? My eyes are glued to this man.
LeBlanc can't really find any poke.
Okay.
It should all start when this Herald gets a tiny bit lower.
It's so low, it might even just reset. It is the Herald going down here, not sure who picked it up, but a massive fight. One kill here for Dewish team. It's a reset, most importantly. Shall see next on the chopping block. Double kill here for the Gwen. And it looks like Herald was picked up by CFO, and they're just guarding it. So while CFO manages to secure the smite onto that objective, they aren't going to be able to find the eye. In fact, WSL looking for more. Much, much needed gold, though, onto your Gwen. Gwen went from 0-1 to 2-1 all of a sudden.
That is big, right? I think in terms of actual gold, the fight was pretty much even, but I think Gwen picking up 2 kills is such a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, goes to being now such a important threat, especially in a game where the Lissandra isn't going to bring much damage, mainly just CC. I think it was Xiaotu who started this off, actually, with an ult onto Gemini. You can see the follow-up that comes through. He also got the Featherstorm out of the Xayah. So even though you go down, as long as you get your whole combo off as Lissandra,
yeah,
you're not too upset about that. And of course, that Herald didn't end up getting picked up, the eye at least.
Now, I want to say it's a little bit sad for Dewish team here, where they've got such a strong Viego, but they're still down gold. But I think ultimately, still at this stage of the game, they are just favored to win all these team fights. Honestly, a lot of the gold here for CFO is actually onto this Renekton as well, which, while yes, can have a lot of impact, it's pretty hard. You don't really want your Renekton to be hitting the Viego, and the Viego is the large portion of Dewish team's gold, obviously.
Yeah.
They even have shutdowns, despite being down gold. How sad does that feel? I hate when that happens.
I guess they're not down that much gold, but it does, yeah, it does feel bad. And Rester's gone for the Executioners. I guess just wants to be able to apply the healing cut and knows that
I guess
Gwen could just Q as opposed to autoing, but... And I guess the armor doesn't really make sense, right? So
yeah.
I just kind of have to.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense for the 1v1. Even, I mean, it works against Viego. Lissandra in theory as well as the Aphelios. Still curious though, I think. I don't think the 800 gold item all that valuable. Maybe he is just going to instantly upgrade it to the Chem tank, but...
Even that doesn't really feel like the best second item, though. I mean, I guess
think
we'll
you
see where
probably
he goes.
would just prefer Steeraxe or Black Cleaver, but we'll see.
Jimmy's up almost 2k gold over Xiaotu, so now LeBlanc is starting to get strong. She hits those 2 items, and it's really kind of this stage of the game where the poke starts to hurt, and then kind of that 3 and 4 item where it's really hard to deal with, especially before lifesteal comes through. So the Jimmy on LeBlanc.
Tagged by Winter's Bite. WSL won't look for it though. I think smartly, he really does have to stay alive, stay healthy. Dragon is now spawning. It's going to be another 5v5. All 5 members of Dewish team here in the bot side. Xiaotu going to be hit here by the Lee Sin. Kicked back even. Might have to commit ult to himself. Actually does get away. Gemini very, very deep here. Xiaotu still has his ult available. Will have to pop it on himself. Gets a lot of that healing come out of it. But, oh, Featherstorm comes out. WSL now. Actually,
Xiaotu can TP back though.
Yeah, doesn't have ult available, but Shun doesn't either, and Shun might just go down here. Although...
Yeah, Jimmy lost a lot of health too.
Yeah.
This is looking not bad for Dewish team.
Xiaotu coming in. Now, Dragon half HP, and I think CFO really should be just running away from this. Rest might have a big fight to come out. Do manage to pick up that Dragon. Stunned up though is Rest. He's trying to find a lot of damage. He's finding a lot to JP for now at least, but that needlework coming through is getting a lot of healing done. JP staying alive, will eventually go down, but it's WSL finding a kill onto Shun. He'll find one onto Shao Si. It's another team fight win. It's 1 for 4 in favor here of Dewish team
15.
as Baron spawn. And God, by goddamn shock, are they going to find their first win against CFO?
I think they might. Okay, Jimmy, he has to try and stop this. He has a lot of poke, but I think it might be too hard.
I don't think he can poke. It's going to be Red Gun on the Aphelios now. As well as you've just got the Braum to block at least some of it.
Lissandra almost has ult back up as well. Yeah, I don't think she's going to be able to do anything, but she almost has to. Rest needs to TP to this. He TP's to top. I think Dewish team could just finish it though. Ignore the LeBlanc.
It might be... Oh, Frozen Tomb comes out. Pepero trying to find it. It's going to be flash out of Jimmy, and this is going to be the Baron going over.
Can they get out? I think
they should be able to, yeah.
Oh
they
my
are.
God.
Dewish team, are you going to do it?
Dude, they're so far ahead now. Only up 2k gold, but in terms of relative power, it feels really big. And I think fights for CFO, you see it here, right? The LeBlanc hasn't landed any poke. Everyone is full HP, and in a straight 5v5, Rest, he found so much. But you've got, just so much AoE. The Braum, the Gwen, the Lissandra. It's just too hard to team fight against Dewish team if you don't have the flanks, if you don't have the poke. And this is why I think so often you see that, not always, right, but very often you see the comp that's just easier for those 5v5 team fights come out on top. Yeah. And that's because almost every single game comes down to, big objective fights, Dragons and Barons. Those are ultimately kind of what puts the nail in the coffin.
Now, we really got to see how Dewish team utilize this Baron, because we've seen them with 7k gold leads before.
Yeah, they have lost these before.
Now, we really need to see them get these objectives, get themselves some sort of room to play on the map. I mean, so far, they've only got the one tower. Really need to get some of the standing gold. That really is where a lot of the gold is. Obviously, 2 towers found from CFO, but 4 members of CFO defending this mid-inner. And it looks like Pepero just too scared to even go up. But meanwhile, on the top side, JP finding himself a tower. Jimmy, though, pretty freely hitting away at this bot lane inner. And in fact, it looks like so far, CFO getting the better of the trade if Jimmy's able to cash in.
Yeah, they're actually getting quite a lot. I mean, the LeBlanc is just pushing so fast. It is more gold onto the LeBlanc, which is good, but it doesn't actually help your 5v5 that much.
No.
Dewish team do need to answer that LeBlanc, though. I think they should just send Zhao 2 back, just have him hold the tower. I don't think this needs to be a trade. You can just be slowly winning out. Instead of... Ooh, that was a failure assault that just went wide.
Someone has to back. You can't be giving up.
Zhao 2, sure.
JP might be able to pick himself up a tower here, perhaps, but... Yeah, Zhao 2 should back. Doesn't have TP. Maybe that's what they're worried. He does go back eventually. And so it looks like, honestly, all things considered, it is only the 1,000 gold, which is less than you get for taking the Baron. But they do, importantly, get rid of that mid lane inner, get rid of that top lane inner, which opens up the map a lot more. And they are also probably favored to win at least the next Dragon fight.
I'd say so. I mean, I think the Golden LeBlanc, it really depends, right? Because if the LeBlanc does land good poke, then obviously the Golden LeBlanc was super valuable, right?
Yeah.
But if she doesn't find anything, then the Golden LeBlanc is almost a complete waste. And so
it does feel scary to W forward as this LeBlanc, because if you do go a little bit too far, Zhao 2 can quite easily just ult you, and you can find yourself at a very peculiar position.
Jimin, he is very strong in the side lane. I think that is going to be the key really for CFO. I think if you just take up straight 5v5s, it's not going to work out. I think using that priority in the side lane, taking vision, making picks, all that is kind of the path to victory. And CFO historically have not been the kind of team to do that. That's very kind of PSG game style, where they play it more slower, methodically. CFO do just like to fight, and that would be playing into Dewish team's hands right now.
Yeah, I think even if you do play the split map though, and you have Jimmy on these side lanes, the 4v4 should favor the side of Dewish team, at least for the foreseeable future. Now, this bot lane inner being worked on. Jimmy does join the fray now, and with that, Dewish team should just back off and let JP work on the top side. In fact, he's going to go claim himself a red buff. Oh, no, he's not. He's just pathing on down. Dragon, 10 seconds away. And so he is going to join for that. There is no Jimmy on the side lane. He is on the bottom, but honestly, he can't really find much but waves for at least 2 more minion waves to come out, which is about a minute. In fact, he teleports top. Teleport available for Zhao 2 as well as JP, and it looks like JP will immediately be rotating up there to answer. Gemini on the red buff, though. It looks like they are committing to just giving over this dragon. JP should stay safe. In fact, it feels pretty hard for CFO to really look for a kill on him.
Yeah, it feels like they just poked the tower there with the Lichbane LeBlanc. It's a nice pickup for Dewish team, but I think CFO do the best they can really to trade back, and the trade's actually fairly good. I mean, a lot of damage onto this tower. Again, it's more gold on LeBlanc, and it really just comes down to execution now for Jimmy and the side of CFO. Of if you can find value with this LeBlanc in the team fights, then she's going to be a big problem. But if they don't play around it, she could quite quickly become useless, especially with Pepero getting some lifesteal now. Some more lifesteal, I should say.
I just can't believe we're in a timeline where Dewish team might just be winning the game against CFO. Who had this on their bingo card?
Not me, that's for sure.
Obviously, a lot to go yet until that does happen. In fact, you got to say, Dewish team making slower progress with a 7-1 Viego than the likes of perhaps Beyond would. But still, they aren't relinquishing the lead, which is a positive sign.
For sure. I mean, we've seen so many games where Dewish team do kind of build these monumental leads and then just throw it all away. This game, the lead isn't as big, but hey, they still have it.
And I think importantly, the lead is on WSL. In the former. That's it.
Yeah.
We did it. The former games where they had the lead, it was pretty much mainly on Pepero. And it seemed like he didn't really have it in him to sort of get them across the line. WSL has done it in the past, albeit on those AP carries. He's now on an AD carry, and he's in a position to do so. Has a stopwatch for this next fight, so even more sort of disruption during the team fight, which can be so important, especially as that Viego. A lot of the times, all you really need to do is set up, try and get one reset, and the stopwatch will allow you to last longer in those team fights, perhaps get the reset and start jumping around, utilizing the likes of the LeBlanc. Imagine if you get the LeBlanc reset.
Yeah, it would be really, really nice. LeBlanc's starting to get a bit of AP now, so can actually be a credible threat in these fights. And I wonder what the Dewish team play is here. I feel like finding some sort of engage early could be the way to go. I think you want to try get in before the poke lands from the LeBlanc. I think starting up Baron could be a mistake.
Yeah, these are really bad guns for Aphelios as well.
I don't like this. I mean, it brings them to the fight before the poke lands, but also I feel like the pit is a... Well, I mean, if they don't take much damage from the Baron...
Yeah, okay. And how putting up that wall will dodge a lot of it, and Jimmy in now.
This is looking good.
Yeah,
I mean,
bunch of the damage has coming out. Xiaotu, though, gets hit by a big one there, as well as WSL. Baron is reset, and with this, it feels like...
I think now you might have to pull away.
Yeah, this feels a bit bad now.
Gemini
WSL getting really low, and you do have to
too much damage. Yeah,
I think you had to have finished it that first one. Pepero may be looking to try and get the gun swap. Now, admittedly, Gravitum, not the worst gun in the world, especially when you have so much CC already on your team. It can set up a lot, but Jimmy's just finding so much poke.
Yeah, this is perfect for LeBlanc.
Yeah.
The indecision is really costing Dewish team here. I think maybe could have done the first Baron, but the moment you turn, there's now no more play
I think you've just got to make it out, and you are for now. Gemini actually, okay, does get the jump over, safeguards away. Now I think it's important you get a reset on these health bars without going down, and the Graviton lands on Jimmy. Won't matter though. Does Jimmy have Mercs? It felt like he
does.
Oh, Pepero, no!
Oh.
For a second there, I thought disaster had struck.
It was very close. I mean, you felt there that Dewish team were pretty close to losing the game on that Baron.
Yeah.
If they had kept playing it like that, I mean, that's the perfect fight really for the LeBlanc, where it's just pretty much 1v5 poking them out.
I think Dewish team maybe could have just committed to finishing it the first time.
Yeah. Because starting up Baron versus the poke comp, if you can do it fast enough, then it's really good. You know, if you can just kill it, turn for the fight, that's great. But the longer you take to do it, the more time you give, you know, the more poke rotations come out, then it suddenly becomes very difficult. And
okay, didn't spot that out. Okay, Pepero is quickly trying to burn through this Infernum gum. Obviously, you do not... admittedly, Infernum plus a Severum is a lot of lifesteal if you get access to a minion wave. You pretty much queue and you get 3 billion health back, but it's not really what you want for the Baron.
No, maybe they'll just look at the Dragon now. I mean, they might just try and play this out really slow. Play for the Drags, try and play the safest way possible.
Okay, they are trying to start a fight here, RCFO. That is going to be the Solar Flare. Out of the meta, Xiaotu finds a 4-man snare, but he's taken so much damage on the side here for Jimmy, is going to cost him his ult, as WSL is looking for Jimmy on the side. Is finding quite a lot of damage there onto that LeBlanc, and man, Xiaotu tried his absolute damnedest there, but there was just not enough follow-up. It is going to be the Dragon now looked at as CFO on the other side of the map here is going to be spotted out. There are enough wards around as Jimmy continuing on with his antics here in the middle lane. It is both the jungler as well as the AD carry here for CFO, starting up the Baron, down to half HP, and I think someone has to mark this LeBlanc and try and find a way to stop her from finding this poke, because at the moment, it seems like really what is the big difference maker. Xiaotu back though is really going to have to wait for his ult to come back up to do anything, and I think Bloodthirster on this recall should also be finished by Pepero.
That would be a very big pickup here, of course. Jimian should be getting closer to the Rabadons, though, which is going to turn him from not just being a poke champ, but back into a burst champ as well. That's going to be very hard to deal with. This Infernal Drag managed to survive this whole time.
I think Dewish should just give it. I think it's like...
I mean, they can do the Baron pretty fast as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They should just do the Baron. We have an Aphelios, 3-item Aphelios now. Zhao building into some MR here. Jimian has to be careful. If he's found, then pretty much the whole team comp fails if this LeBlanc goes down. Now, Pepero, the white-green gun.
I like this.
Yeah, this is not bad. The Baron is so low. Is Gemini going to get marked? It's going to be the Baron going down. It is WSL who confirms it, and it's going to be Rest. He's stunned up. He's so low, but oh my god, the health comes back so quickly for this Renekton. It's a shutdown, though. Pepero has 8,000 chakrams. Look how much damage he's doing. He's just running these dudes. He's Usain Bolt. Oh my goodness. WSL and the side of Dewish team, they're doing it. They're going top side. It's where their minion wave lies. It's a low health tower.
Oh, can they end? I mean, there's no wave clear, really.
Jimian
it's just
as well.
Desire. She has no ult, flash, or cleanse.
Yeah, Frozen Tomb is coming up halfway through that cooldown. 5 members for Dewish team against the 3 of CFO. Shunin base is regenning his health back up, but does he have what it takes against these Baron minions? Gemini doing good to sort of get these minions from hitting the tower, but it's too little too late, it feels. Dewish team, in the most unlikely circumstances, are looking to take out our 4th place team. Although, have they? The Nexus is so low. It's just Pepero. The Nexus is on 1 HP, but CFO have defended. The game continues, and oh my god, what is going on?
This is incredible. If CFO somehow managed to come back from that and turn this game around, it would be probably the game of the split for me. Now, looking towards that Infernal Drag, they have managed to keep it alive, but they have lost the top inhib, and fights are getting so difficult. I'm not sure if you saw what Pepero did in that Baron fight, but he just annihilated Jimian on the side. I mean, Jimian tried to come forward and poke him, and just got destroyed for it.
Oh my god. It's
is
a
Jimian
naked...
gonna get an in him?
He is. Zhao has teleport. Is there a ward? It doesn't look like it,
but... We have a game on our hands. Yeah, we don't even get to see the Baron fight because we really just see the ending.
Now, there had to have been a mistake. Someone missed an auto attack somewhere. Okay, Shun, I want to see this Blade Caller. Just absolutely quick scopes here. There's actually a massive ult there as well. Dewish team lining up there for that triple collateral on free-for-all from Gemini.
So close.
It's one team fights in it. Either team win a fight here, the game will end.
Jimian's got Rabadons. I mean, he's actually really strong now. Oh, this game is still feels on a knife's edge.
I can't believe it.
They were so close to his team to just picking up their first win right there. And imagine the heartbreak if you lose from here.
No, they're not going to.
Ahead, right? And it really is Jimian. I mean, Shun has gotten pretty strong. It's up to the CFO, LeBlanc, and the Zaya to take this one and somehow bring it back.
Okay, another tower claimed.
Okay,
it is Zhao matching in the mid lane here. Does have the teleport advantage for now. Will be committing it. Oh, I don't know about this. This seems a bit dodgy. Coming in, it's going to be low health bars here already, and the kick does land, but it's onto the Braum. Is it going to be enough? It does look like it for now. Featherstorm does come out here of Shun on the Zaya. And Dewish team now running away. Will Gemini follows out?
I mean, this would be a good place for Jimian to chase. I wonder, I mean, 2 fights in a row, Zhao Tu's ulted the Renekton, I think mainly to peel, but it doesn't last very long because there is a lot of tenacity. I think it might even be better just to hold it for threat, but it is hard to say, right? Because if you can't keep Pepper alive, he is doing an incredible amount of damage in these fights. Not the easiest game to decide how you want to play from here, really.
I think importantly, though, with this inhib being down, it means that the LeBlanc isn't as threatening because she does have to just sit in that lane and answer those waves. Now, out to mid lane. We tried bot. We didn't get it done. Top was 1 auto attack away. And honestly, I don't even know what to think anymore. It looks like it really should be Pepero able to carry. I feel like Pepero is the strongest late game champion in this game. And Oh my god,
There's
man.
a Gwen as well.
There is a Gwen.
Yeah, I think Dewish team should win, but this Jimian on the LeBlanc and the Shunzai are very, very strong. Like, I think if Dewish team make a mistake here, they can definitely lose fights. I still think it's very close.
Yeah, and 1 minute now on this Baron. 2 on the Dragon. I don't think either team should really care that much about the Dragon.
No.
I don't think this is going to 4.
Probably not.
There should be, I think there's one fight around this Baron. Probably decides the game.
Yeah, pretty much. Feels like as long as there's even maybe like 2 or 3 people alive, that's going to be enough.
Now, importantly, it is the bot lane inhib down here for Dewish team, which gives, at least around the Baron pit, certainly an advantage for CFO, as well as the inhib was taken later. Ooh. Okay. Nothing really was used there, and Jimian is going to be able to escape. But again, we're back into the scenario. WSL trying to find some damage on the rest. Not bad, really, all things considered. But Jimian continuing to jump forward. The damage isn't too high when it lands onto the likes of WSL. You really just want to keep it from being onto Xiaotu and Pepero at this stage.
You do. 28 seconds on that Baron, and I think that
Top lane in her, but
Dewish team should be able to just set up and probably do this. I think starting it quicker is better. I mean, Jimian's poke now is going to really hurt.
yeah. The Blighted Jewel coming through. Pepero managed to find his Lord Dominic's on that recall. Also has the access to the stopwatch, so this is a very, very scary Aphelios. It's a very, very scary Xayah. They're matching in items. So much of this will come down to execution. We've seen Xiaotu with a heroic 4-man snare that resulted in nothing. Pepero quick-scoping Jimian at the last Baron fight, which almost resulted in their win. And it's CFO this time, starting up this Baron. It's out of vision. I want to see the Baron. It should be very low. It's going to be spotted out. It is just going to go down. CFO going to find it. Oh, WSL looking for the steal, but won't find it. But there's a fight coming through. It's going to be Xiaotu. He stuns up Shun. That's a cleanse coming out. And Jimian trying to find the damage on the backside. Pepero, blue and purple guns. Not perfect. They're in the pit. They're in the pit. And there's Pepero trying to do what he can. He's doing a lot. It's 2 kills here for Dewish team. I thought it was a disaster. WSL claiming himself another reset. Oh my god, Jimian finds 2 on the back end. It's 2 alive. It's the carries here for CFO, but it's the carry. It's WSL. But Shun finds the rip back. He's going to stay alive for now. GA coming through as WSL. Might have gone a bit too far forward. JP now.
Shun just needs to stop this back.
Yeah, it's going to be Jimian trying to look for the end, but it looks like JP might be able to find the kill here onto the Xayah. It's a shutdown.
He does not have TP though.
WSL has already got the recall off though, so WSL will be able to stop anything from happening here.
We thought there was one more fight left in it, but
we got another.
We go
again.
I thought that fight was doomed.
I thought CFO had won.
Yeah. I thought just like the way it kind of played out, I thought it was just completely over. They were all kind of stuck in the pit, but I guess they just, I don't know, AoE them all to death. I don't even know. JP picks up a Rabadons after that fight, which is a huge pickup, and importantly, that was the bot inhib picked up again. So they can't continue to pressure through there. We'll see how this happened. I mean, this was looking like there's Xiaotu, he ult Shun, who's of course just cleanses it out. This looked so lost for Dewish team. I mean, I thought the game was just over completely here. So what changed? I mean, I guess Pepero and JP, it looks like JP does 1 million damage in that backline. Yeah. And Pepero manages to live for so long here. I think, honestly, Pepero kind of went the wrong way, right into the waiting arms of Jimian, who so much AoE
so close for him to be able to pick that up too.
Yeah.
Okay, it's the Dragon. 3rd Dragon. Maybe we are going to make it to the Soul.
We might. I mean, you just like it for the stats at this point. I mean, the extra damage actually does add up, right? Because you got so many stats at this point.
Yeah, I want to say, importantly now, no cleanse for Shun. If you're able to find a fight in the very near future, might be a good angle here for Dewish team, but it's Jimian is just being an absolute pest here on the side lanes.
Yeah. And mid lane item difference now is you're really feeling it. But you do have that really strong Gwen. Obviously an incredible amount of damage. These are the types of games where you really wish you had Gathering Storm, but
yeah,
how often does it go like this? Not too often.
Man. Oh, look, I want to see Dewish team pick up the win. I think not only would it be good to just not have a team that's on 0 wins at the end of the season. But I think it could mean so much for the standings when
really
it comes
could,
to the playoffs.
And I just think, I mean, if you lose after that Nexus is on 1 HP, you just can't ever recover, you know?
Especially, I mean, even in that fight, Jim and I found like a 3-man knockup, but that's old news. We're at 40 minutes here, and we have an absolute game on our hands. WSL playing pretty well throughout the whole game. Doesn't have his GA now. Obviously going down after some good kiting from Shun at the end of last team fight.
There's a QSS here for Shun as well, so he's really not in danger. I think a lot of this fight now actually comes down to JP. Because he is incredibly strong on the Gwen, but it's not the easiest champ to find damage on sometimes. I mean, especially late game when there's a lot of movement speed, and people do kite you out and dodge your ult, you can find yourself being, you know, lackluster, especially if you don't have the CC from someone else coming through. Yeah,
and without the Ghost, which is a really, really good team fight summoner for the Gwen, but
you still scale incredibly well. It's just, it can become harder, I suppose, to find the fight that you want.
Now, Shun has his cleanse back, so makes this next fight a little bit harder here for Zhao too.
The tower.
Yeah, that tower's getting one shot. I think Dewish team, they honestly don't need to find a fight. I think they can lose an inhib as long as they are able to find a fight around pretty much the next dragon. Maybe the Baron, actually. It might be too important now with how much damage Jimian's doing. JP, though, working on this bot wave.
And now Inhib will respawn by the time Baron's up. So I think we will definitely see one more 5v5. And you have to feel like, surely this is the last one.
Look, I'm not confident enough to say it. Inhale getting chunked out pretty low, but the damage reduction coming through that Braum wall.
Yeah, Braum doesn't have too much lifesteal, so will be sent back to base.
And there's a Thornmail Braum, so really whatever damage Jimian wants to do to that Braum, it's almost true damage at this point. No boots as well, so Jimian's just full 6 items.
Yeah, that's a base build. Oh, Pepero, he's in trouble.
He's in big trouble here. Oh. He does survive. Okay, that's big. And Jimian is really, really chunked out too, so...
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing though. If Pepero doesn't get bursted, he will just heal to full, basically, straight after.
I think that was very close to the game being over though. I mean, for either team, really, how low Jimian got. And that was just off auto attacks.
It is insane. I mean, there's just so much pressure on everyone in these team fights. Because when you get to these ultra late game fights, even the tanks pretty much explode, right? They just really get taken out early. Now, Pepero picks up a GA, which I think is really, really important.
Yeah, especially with that Gale Force down.
Yeah, there's like no chance to get randomly one-shot. You can always flash and Gale Force after and maybe lifesteal a bit. So that's a huge, I guess, potential for it to turn around in a fight. Now, Jimian, he's heading towards the bot side, wants to be able to pressure the bot inhib once again. But Dewish team just going down mid, they push it up very far, and I think they want to just start this Baron immediately. I wonder if Jimian will just try and play for the end. I mean, it feels like you kind of have to TP
this will be absolutely eliminated, though. This Baron already down to half. It's been half a second. This Baron's gone. Unless Gemini doesn't get it. WSL does secure that one as JP is matching on the top side.
They should fight for it.
Yeah, Zhaotu's looking. Shun, Featherstorm's early. That is so much damage out of the Zarya as Rest goes in. Does he have the damage to take out Pepero? He certainly does not. On the other side, though, it's WSL going into that GA.
I think they're
going to be able to get out. And now Jimian is going to recall, but it's going to be ultimately Gemini who goes down. Double kill here for Dewish team. It's 5 strong against the 3. Now Shun and Jimian are still alive. It's a lot of wave clear. But is it going to be enough? Pepero will be able to hold back up to full. He's also got the GA available. Jimian trying to do what he can. Zhao goes golden. It's going to be Chelsea in the middle of the team. And Shun is finding so much damage on the side. But JP will get his GA out. He comes back to life. But it's not going to be enough.
That's all they need.
They don't need anything else. It's Dewish team taking the win over CFO.
What did we just watch? 40